Dear Love Island producers, because I can't talk directly to these islanders, we have Huda fatigue. We don't want to see Huda get saved. We don't want to see a Huda redemption arc. We don't want to see Huda go on a date with a bombshell. And we certainly don't want to see Huda and Jeremiah reunite later in the season. We are tired. It was entertaining, iconic TV, Sunday. Monday is debatable. We are tired. We are tired. We do not want to see another episode of Huda calling Jeremiah all kind of B from morning to nighttime. We are tired. We do not want to watch her on the show anymore. Sincerely, Lex, self-ordained voice of the viewing public.
Is never going to be the man that you need in your life. You need a man, and he is.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there, and it inspires me to keep creating. In addition to that, I have a $1 channel membership, and if you want to go to that extra mile to support the content, this daily and consistent content, girl, I would absolutely love that, but there is no obligation as long as you guys interact with the videos. It does let the algorithm do the thing, and y'all definitely have the algorithm doing the thing. I want to say thank you again because guys, I am so happy and so grateful. My honest goal is to get to 7.5K by the end of Love Island, and we are absolutely on the road to get there. I just hit 7K at the beginning of this month, and we are already getting pretty close to the 7.5K mark. So I am so grateful for those of you guys who come back. Some of y'all, I see you in the comment section every single day, and I absolutely appreciate y'all. I read a lot of the comments. So even if I don't reply, just know I saw you. I see y'all that are there every day, and I'm so grateful. Now, for those of y'all, because I did check the analytics though, for those of y'all who are coming back daily, you're typing in lifestyle with Lex, you're finding my channel, you're watching my recaps, but you didn't hit the subscribe. I'm just curious why. We have a lot of videos on this channel. So even if Love Island is one show you like, there's probably another show you like. I know y'all watch Love is Blind. I know y'all watch other shows. So check out my channel to see some of the other content that I have recapped because baby, it's gonna be a long summer. We got a lot of content coming, and I just want y'all to come along for the ride. Join the fam. Anyway, I'm procrastinating, y'all, because I'm not gonna lie to you. This episode, child, it's enough. It is enough. I've had enough of the Huda and Jeremiah nonsense. This is not entertaining. This is not fun. And to be frankly honest, I don't like watching Huda. I don't like watching Huda. I think Huda is disrespectful. I think Huda is nasty. And I think Huda, dare I say it, has violent tendencies. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. So let's get into it. Love Island, Season 7, Episode 14. So Huda and Jeremiah, we get back to this rigmarole, this circle that they got going on.
I think someone's making you pancakes when I already made you a pancake, and the fact we're still talking about this is kind of nuts.
I'm not bringing it up again to show that you're not as interested.
I think you have it flipped.
What?
I think you have done...
At this point, Huda says, oh my God, you said you were gonna step up, blah, blah, blah. You didn't do it. Jeremiah's like, I would never call you out of your name. She's like, any man would have went to his woman in this situation. And I want to pause right there, right? Because again, at the end of last episode, we came to this conclusion that at the end of the day, Huda feels rejected. She does not know how to handle those feelings of rejection. And again, I'm not going to lie. Throughout watching the episode until Huda sort of brought it up, I didn't even really put together that Jeremiah didn't directly go up to her at any point after she was about to go home. For me, I kind of interpreted that scene where he heard her out of the shower as him on the way to talk to her. It's obviously not clear, but it is true that, yeah, Jeremiah sort of just went to bed and he did his thing. And for me, I'm not necessarily blaming Jeremiah because it's clear that Jeremiah's checked out. The thing that I'm blaming Jeremiah for in this moment is just not being upfront about the fact that you are checked out. Right? If you see your partner upset and you don't have a desire and have an urge to go check on them, it's because you're checked out. When you love somebody, when you care about somebody, when you like somebody even, especially when you're in the early days, you're going to want to make sure they're good no matter what. And it is completely understanding why I completely understand why Jeremiah would be drained and not want to check on her. But that's the thing. Stop the rigmarole. Stop the fighting and then effing her in the bed. That's the problem. So Jeremiah says, so now I'm not a man? Now I'm not a man? And I'm like, okay, see, this is where Jeremiah starts to play into her nonsense. And I'm like, Jeremiah, you know dang well that's not what she was implying. So Jeremiah admits in the confessional that he really likes Huda, but he realizes that they have very, very different ways of handling conflict. Somehow, some way, they get back onto Pancake Gate again, and Jeremiah's like, I can't believe that you're still on this and that this is such a big deal. Huda starts to talk about how this was supposed to prove that he was going to step up. Child, they keep going on and on and on. So Huda starts to say, well, America clearly sees that you're doing the bare minimum. Now, Huda is weaponizing America against Jeremiah. First, we saw Nick and Ace do it. Now we see Huda doing it. And I'm like, child, if you don't stop using us as a scapegoat for y'all's nonsense, stop using America as a scapegoat for y'all's nonsense. She starts to say that, and Jeremiah's like, really? Because I actually think it's quite the opposite. She's like, so you think America hates me? Huda continues to say, they clearly see that you're not doing enough and they want better for me. And I'm like, wow, wow, wow. This is what happens, though, when people go unchecked. This is what happens when people get to run rampant. This is what happens when you go vent to Amaya and she's chiming in with you saying, yeah, he's a B, yeah, he's a B, yeah, he's a B. This is what happens when, yeah, you have so many people in the villa asking, what are we seeing that she's not seeing? This conversation still goes on, but we flash over to Austin and Amaya.
In shock. I have this internal radar, and it goes off whenever something's off. I'm like, and then that shows like.
So Austin and Amaya, they have a conversation, and y'all know I don't give a rat's behind if Austin stays in this house or not, but for his game, looking at it completely unobjectively, I guess, he should definitely be talking to Amaya right now because Shelly is just not a reliable pick for Austin. You'll never catch me voting for him to win, but for his own game, he should have definitely been exploring the connection with Amaya, and Amaya absolutely should be exploring the connection with Austin. So Amaya does say that Austin looks really good. Once again, Austin says, I love how we could just be ourselves. We flow off of each other's energy. You know, Amaya's awesome. She's so attractive. She wears her heart on her sleeve. So both of them, we definitely see a little spark and a little flirtation here. And I'm like, hey, as you should. Let Shelly and Ace play their little game together. But child, Austin, you need to do what you need to do for yourself, right? So anyways, Hannah and Pepe, we see them kissing. Hannah says that Pepe continues to amaze her and wow her every day. She feels like it just flows naturally. Charlie, who? I'm curious, did she throw those photo booth pictures that she was sobbing in the bed with in the trash, or what happened to those pictures? Charlie? Who is Charlie? Clearly, he is not here. So, Alondria and Taylor.
Missed you too. I was so nervous. I'm like, I didn't know what you was gonna think. I know it's hard as hell.
I never saw Taylor this hyped to talk to Alondria in my entire life. But Taylor, he is real happy. And remember, I don't know if y'all caught it, but when they got off the boat yesterday, they kissed on the lips. So the two of them are apparently on a high. So for Alondria, she says that Jalen did kiss her on the cheek and kind of go in for that kind of stuff, which feels a little more intimate to begin with. So she tries to say that Taylor didn't really move like that, I guess implying that Taylor was willing to move slower with her, and because of that, she liked that. Now for Taylor, he claims that he missed Olandria, and I'm like, is that a line that Ace fed you or what? Because the enthusiasm is there. I'll give it to you. Ace must have taught you a little bit of improv acting classes to get that enthusiasm up, but boy, oh boy. Olandria says that she also missed him as well. So Olandria in the confessional is saying that there is so many green flags with Taylor because it must be so hard to see your girl have a connection with someone else, but he ain't trip over it. So that's a green flag for her. And I'm like, Olandria, he ain't trip? Maybe that means he ain't into you. You know, it's always that he's a slow burner and respects you. He ain't trip when you were with someone else. I don't know. When you start to put the things together, it really sounds like he's not feeling you, but okay. Alondra proceeds to say that if Taylor was to pack his bags and leave tonight, she would be gone as well. She really likes him. And at this point, we know Jalen apparently is not hitting the way that Jalen was supposed to hit. So we flash back to Huda and Jeremiah because this conversation was so long that the rest of the night basically went on before they were done.
Not my type.
And you still laid in bed with her and didn't.
I laid away from her.
I don't care.
Jeremiah apologizes once again and says that he never lied to Huda. And at this point, I'm like, is Jeremiah trying to get back with her? I think Jeremiah, low-key, might want to get back with her. At this point in the episode, at least, I was like, what are we doing? So he swears that Iris is not his type. Huda then gets on to, but you still slept in the same bed with her. What was that all about? Jeremiah's like, why is the expectation that I was supposed to sleep in soul ties because I was paired up by America with someone that you don't want me to be paired? Like, why is that the expectation? And fair enough. Ace has been sleeping in musty, nasty, warm soul ties for 5 days, we find out in this episode. 5 days he has been sleeping out there because he too damn dramatic and he doesn't want to sleep next to Amaya. I respect it. He wants to be in that AC. He doesn't want to be up on all those bugs. It's nasty. Overall, Jeremiah says, look, I do not regret anything up until this point. And even though we're here, I don't regret choosing only you. I don't regret you. And again, these are words that were given. I want to work this out with you. I want to work this out with you. That's all I heard when Jeremiah was saying, please, I want to be able to be with you. Huda's like, you broke my heart, man. You broke my heart, man. I don't know. You broke my heart. She got like snot on her face and the camera zoomed in. And I'm like, ugh, please. This is too much. So morning time comes around and Jeremiah apologizes for not coming to comfort Huda. He gives her a hug. For Nick, he's telling Ace that he is feeling absolutely drained by their relationship. It is becoming too much. And we definitely see that sentiment over the course of the villa today. If only y'all knew how to actually stand on business, but we'll get to that later. Jeremiah, he just lets Nick know that he wants to get back to being happy. He wants to get back to being light and free. I'm like, Jeremiah, when? You've been going through this with Huda since day 3, when she told you about her kid. So you want to go back to how the first 2 days of the villa was, I guess. I don't know. He does claim that he is unsure of if he can do that with Huda. So Taylor brings Huda breakfast because he's unsure if Jeremiah is going to bring anything, but Jeremiah does actually end up also bringing her a plate as well. So we have the whole villa on the couches except Huda and Jeremiah discussing Huda and Jeremiah.
That should last or should be fixed.
No, if I'm being honest.
This toxicity is now affecting not just you.
If you even feel like you have to stand your ground where every person that comes in here in the name of your person, that should be a red flag.
And you could definitely tell the mood in the villa is just somber. It is entirely too much. So Nick is asking, has anybody spoke to Huda? Any of the girls? Nobody has spoke to them. He proceeds to ask, do you guys think that this relationship should continue or that it's toxic? And I'm like, here goes Nick again. Here goes Instigator Nick, always having the questions to stir up drama. Did production ordain name Nick as the guy to kind of shake things up because it's a lot. Alondria says, no, to be honest, I don't really feel like this relationship should continue. We finally get some of Shelly's thoughts because I feel like Shelly's been very quiet in this situation. Shelly says, if you feel like you have to stand your ground, you know, mark your territory with every single person that comes in, maybe the relationship is really, really toxic. Maybe it's not worth it. Overall, though, Nick says in the confessional that everyone is feeling drained by this couple, and because of them, other people cannot focus on their connections. And that is definitely something that I was talking about, where I feel like it's not just simply the fact that Huda and Jeremiah, they have their fight. They have their fight in the corner and it's fine. It's the fact that everybody else in this house also has to be sucked in to their fights. And while I don't think any of these couples are real, for what it's worth, I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's giving 0 real couples going into Casa. It's giving 0 real connections going into Casa, except for maybe a few people. I just feel like it is very true that they suck all the resources and energy of everyone into them. And at that point, it's like, it's just not fun anymore. It's not fun. Why would we want to see that as viewers? Why would you want to live with that as Islanders? So again, the self-awareness of Huda and Jeremiah, I'm just a little bit unsure of what's happening here. So Huda and Jeremiah are talking and everyone's staring, but they're trying to pretend that they're not staring. Jeremiah asks, how are you? Were you able to eat some breakfast this morning? Huda's like, yeah, I'm okay. He gives her a hug and she's basically like, okay, you know, pull me for a chat later. Like, we could talk later. Pull me for a chat, basically. And they kind of split off. So Jalen and Alondria, they also have a little bit of a conversation. And it starts off with them talking kind of about the massage date and everything. But then they just get on to Jeremiah. And Alondria is like, look, it is too much baggage that comes with Jeremiah and this relationship. We see everybody over the course of the day talk about how this is too much for them. It's too much baggage. They're frustrated. They're drained. I don't know, y'all. I don't know what they put in that Kool-Aid. I don't know what they put in them wine glasses that they gave the Islanders later on during this recoupling. But boy, we gotta talk because I just don't know. So Jeremiah and Huda.
Like, the only way for it to be like healthy is to start at being friends again, because
Sharing so many vulnerable parts of me, like, and then going straight back to friends, it's like, it's very hard.
Jeremiah tries to approach Huda in a very neutral sense. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know why he was continuing all of this. It ain't worth it. Y'all cannot have a conversation without it going from here to there. But anyway, he says, hey, I've been thinking pretty long and hard about the reason why we have such good chemistry, but it just sort of feels like we don't really click in that way. He tries to say that he feels that they got intimate way too quickly, and because of that, they skipped the best friend stage. What did I say in a previous video? I said that. I was literally like, are these two even friends? We see Jeremiah having conversations with Iris about playing competitive Uno, and they kind of click on certain things. We've never seen Huda and Jeremiah have a conversation that didn't either involve talking about her daughter or her telling him what he needs to do in order to be a man. I'm sorry, we have never seen them even laugh, have banter. That's why for me, again, I'm like, do you all even click like that? You don't know that. So Jeremiah proceeds and says, look, I'm going to be honest. I kind of want to hit the reset button on us. I want to start as friends and maybe try to build from there. I do feel like because we skipped that stage, we don't have that best friendship. So of note, as they're talking, they're sitting across from each other on the couch. As Jeremiah starts to talk, Huda puts her feet on him. And even Alondria or somebody else across the villa, who was of course watching, because the whole villa is just sitting there watching whenever they talk. She's like, oh, her feet are wrapped around him. What is going on? So Huda's like, what? You're saying you want to be friends? But I've already been vulnerable with you. We've already been intimate. I can't just go from being intimate to being buddy-buddy with you. What are you talking about, Jeremiah? Jeremiah's like, look, I just want to try to see if we can build up from the beginning. Huda gets livid.
If this is how you think it's gonna make me like you, just by all means.
I don't want to make you like me. Jesus.
So don't fucking talk to me.
The crash out.
Yeah, crash out. This is the second one, right?
No, it's actually like the fifth.
Now, let me even see what she says. She brings up again how she is hurt, how could you do this? You slept in the bed with Iris yesterday, and now you're telling me you want to be friends with me? Jeremiah brings up once again, why was the expectation that I was supposed to sleep outside? So Huda starts to escalate even more. She throws a pillow in Jeremiah's face. And look, I know some of y'all gonna say it's not a big deal. That is a violent tendency. I do not care. You do not throw things at people. I have been in a relationship where somebody threw a little small pillow at me to start, and they ended up throwing more violent things at me in the end. No, you do not throw things at people. That is not okay. And the way she threw that pillow in his face let me know that she has very violent tendencies. It's given, I throw hands. And that is not okay. I don't care. There are certain behaviors in relationships that we need to recognize, and that is one of them. I don't want to hear, it's just a pillow. It was no. She throws a pillow in his face. She says, don't fucking talk to me then. Fucking leave me alone. Leave me the F alone. I'm like, are you joking? She proceeds to walk away, comes back a few minutes and says, Jeremiah. Like this. She's like, how do you not care to make me like you? How do you not care to make me like you? You don't even care. You're so busy sleeping in a bed with another woman. She throws the water bottle down on the couch. She doesn't throw this one out, but she kind of slams the bottle down on the couch as she's coming over. And I was like, whoo. I was like, where is production? Where is production? No. No. I don't think people should even be able to have these kinds of tendencies because you are in a villa isolated away from everybody. No, I didn't like this. I did not like this scene. We already have seen scary behavior from Huda, and we saw scarier behavior from Huda today. And I just feel like that has to be recognized. We don't want to see it no more. Love Island producers, we don't want this. We don't like this. We don't like watching violence. We don't. I'm sorry, we don't like that. Especially partner violence, partner violent tendencies. I don't like watching that. I really don't. And the way that Huda was acting was scary. And it was already scary that previous episode, and it just got scarier this episode. We don't like that. We like drama that's messy, but like we like Rob jumping in the pool. That's messy from last season. This is scary. We don't like this. I'll say it again, Love Island producers. No. So Iris is talking to Jalen meanwhile, and she's like, you know what? They can go be fucking crazy together. I'm done. So Huda storms over because she tells Jeremiah, you know what? Goodbye. Basically says she's done with him. She walks back over to the group.
All the way out of my fucking vagina, brother. Literally. How are you gonna ask me what I want and then not want to do it? And I told him, fuck the fuck off. I said, take.
She starts to sit down with the group. It's Nick, Taylor, who is there? Nick, Taylor, Amaya, and Shelly, I believe was there. I don't know. Whatever. It was a group. And she sits down. She starts going off. She's telling Amaya she's done. You know how Amaya be validating whatever she says. Okay, we talk about people validating, girls validating. Amaya is one of them, right? Amaya is one of the big ones that be validating the nonsense that comes out of Huda's mouth. So as she's going on and on, she's talking about how I told him what I needed. I told him what it was that I needed. He's such a this, he's a B. She definitely called him a B again. Nick and Taylor are sitting there making eyes. They're like this. They're like, I'm like, child. Nick and Taylor are sitting there, and I'm like, boy, oh boy. The two of them cannot wait to go talk about how much they can't stand Huda. It was absolutely insanity. She says, he needs to get the F out of my vag, brother. I'm like, Huda, just no. We don't like this. Love Island producers. We don't like this. So she's trying to discuss how he says that he wants to go slow, but they already went fast, so it doesn't make sense. She's essentially like literally calling this man an idiot for even suggesting that they slow down. Which again, the way that Huda talks is so, and I don't typically use this type of wording to discuss a lot of the topic. I feel like the way Huda talks is emasculating and it makes you feel like an idiot and it makes you feel dumb. And that is exactly what it is. Nothing Jeremiah said was even outlandish. The fact that Jeremiah was willing to extend the olive branch to be your friend, to me, is still Delulu. I think Jeremiah should have straight up said, I'm done. I can't do it. I understand they're in a villa together, so it wouldn't have been easy to do a clean break. But the fact that he was even willing to say, hey, it was giving that Jeremiah was willing to pair up with you, Huda. But he just wanted to be a little slower with the effing in the bed every night and things like that. And you couldn't even handle that. To the point where you got violence? Yeah, I don't know, child. I don't know. This ain't it. This ain't it. We don't like it, Huda. Producers, we don't like it. So Austin and Alondria, they're over in the kitchen talking. They go over to Jeremiah and basically Jeremiah's like, yeah, I just feel like for us, we really respond way differently to conflict and to problems that we have. I don't really blow up like her, so I don't know. I feel like we're not the same. He proceeds to say, look, I feel like we're having all this talk about marriage, about kids, and I really just wanted to take it slower with her. That's essentially what I wanted to tell her. And Alondria is kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's already a lot of responsibility to take on, you know, meeting her kid outside of here. And Austin's like, what? She has a kid? And I was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna hold you. I forgot there are people that don't know that she has a kid. I still be forgetting. When she told Ace, I was like, oh yeah, the guys don't know that she has a kid. So anyway, Austin finds out that information and they're like, oh God, don't say anything. Shh, please. So Austin and Shelly, Austin's doing his little leg day. Shelly decides she's gonna come over and put her little 2 minutes of effort into this fake connection. But essentially she tries to say that she does like Austin. She does like spending time with him. She said it doesn't always have to be grand gestures, but sometimes it's just the intentional time spent together. For Austin, he says that, hey, obviously, of course, he enjoys talking with Shelly and being around her, but he does not want to get hurt again. So Nick and Sierra, question mark, by the way, because where has this couple been? They talk about evolution. They're just having a random conversation. I guess they're still doing well. We have not seen these two talk in forever. I thought someone was about to get a text because usually when they have these random one-off conversations, it's because somebody's about to get a text. So Jeremiah and Iris, they go to the speakeasy.
I'm not like tripped out about it and I'm not stressed about it. I'm very like level-headed when it comes to these types of things. Okay. You know,
Jeremiah is like, look, I'm feeling more clear-headed now, because Iris is like, how are you doing? I saw all of that. I don't know. So Jeremiah says he feels more clear-headed now. He feels like he doesn't have to walk around with a weight on his shoulders. He apologizes to Iris because he's like, I know you were thrown into a hurricane that you didn't ask to be in. For Iris, she says that she's not really holding it against him and that she is still open to continuing this partnership and getting to know him, which I was like, that's crazy, girl. I thought you were for sure going to be like, nah. But at the same time, who else has she really tried to build a connection? I guess Ace, but Iris was still open to it, which I found to be very interesting. So Shelly and Ace, they're in soul ties. They're having another conversation about tattoos, blah, 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 blah. Shelly makes a joke that he should get a tattoo of her face. And she says, he's like, if we get married, maybe. So Shelly's like, oh my God, I've really wanted to sleep out here one day. And Ace makes no reaction, for the record. Ace just kind of sits there and she's like, not with you, of course. I was just joking. And I was like, oh boy. See, these two, there's always a little something there. There's always the little banter, but I don't know about them still. Now, Shelly claims that she feels nervous because she doesn't want to put all of her eggs into Ace while still nurturing the connection with Austin. And I'm like, well, Shelly, Austin is 1 foot out the door. I ain't gonna hold you. I see a world where Shelly's in danger soon if she don't really lock down, because I feel like Ace is still not a trustworthy pairing. And if she loses Austin, I could just see a world where Shelly is potentially in danger, especially if more bombshells come in, which we know they will. We know we're close to Casa. I just feel like Shelly I understand that you don't like Austin and you don't have to, but baby, you better hope that another bombshell that you're interested in comes in, because I just don't think Ace is a reliable link up for the rest of the show. But that's just me. So nighttime comes around, the girls are getting ready, and Sierra's like, I don't know, maybe you should like calm down on the name calling of Jeremiah to Huda. And I'm like, wow, someone actually spoke up. Thank you. It's about time that somebody in here spoke up. Nick, of course, lets Jeremiah know that Huda came in swinging on those couches, calling him all types of B again. It's too much. It's just, it's too much. After a while, we don't want to hear B, 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 B every other word. So as you know, all the girls will walk downstairs as the guys wait down at the bottom to take their girl. And who does Jeremiah take? He takes Iris. So they go over to the table. Jeremiah pulls a chair out for her. And as you know, Huda absolutely loses it. She runs away to start crying.
Oof. What's going on there?
She runs off to the back. This time, Hannah decides she's going to take on the task. Hannah and only Hannah. Notice, nobody else followed Huda. But Hannah goes to the bathroom with Huda. Huda's like, I just can't believe she pulled out a chair for him. He pulled out a chair for her. How can she do that? How can he do that? Hannah's like, look, you don't need him. He's not worth it. He treats you terribly. Again, look, I understand trying to de-escalate the situation. So far, the only girl that has even dared to say, hey, like, maybe let's cool it down a little bit has been Sierra. And I understand some of the other girls truly may not understand the velocity, but you all have seen the way that she has been talking to him. Y'all cannot be condoning as heavily as you are the way that he's talking. I gave y'all one episode because I was like, okay, maybe y'all just want to de-escalate the situation. You don't know what to do. But the fact that we still have people telling her, oh no, he is a B. He's terrible. You know, Hannah continues on, you're a mom first, you know. And that's what matters. Don't worry about him. You will have a bombshell that will come in here and love you for who you are. Huda says, see my worth. No, Hannah. No, I didn't like it. But what were we expecting from moving man, messy Hannah? So in Maya and Austin, they have a little conversation.
Extremely lucky to
I
have you
appreciate
as
you
a
saying
father.
that, Maya.
100%.
I appreciate you saying that. Oh my gosh.
Can you lift me up?
Again, we saw these little sparks start to fly. I'm like, okay. So Amaya's showing off her fit to Austin. They start to get into a conversation about their families, their lives. Austin says he's just from Michigan. Amaya is Dominican. Her parents are both Dominican. She's a first generation kid. So she talks about how for her, it's very important for her kids to know her culture, to know Spanish, even if her husband is not. Austin is really, really enjoying this conversation. He feels that the time is way more intentional than the time with Shelly. So for him, this is definitely something that he wants to pursue. It's very clear that Austin is open to this. He likes that Amaya is all about him. And the two of them are definitely bonding. And I agree. I feel like we see legitimate conversation. I think a good indicator of a good couple is when we actually see them talk about themselves, their lives, their interests. We've never seen Shelly even be open or interested to talking about Austin because, again, Austin is not her first pick. Her mind is so focused on Ace and having these conversations with Ace, and that's cool. To me, that's a risk. I'm not saying you should be with Austin because, again, I don't want Austin with none of the girls of color if I'm being for real, but it's a risk picking Ace, especially with his track record when new bombshells come in the door. So we're gonna have to see. So Ariana, she shows up and she tells them, get around that fire pit right now. She lets them know that we are having another recoupling. Y'all, I know this recoupling was not planned for tonight. Those producers, I do genuinely think they wanted somebody else. They wanted someone out. They find out that there is going to be two people, single and vulnerable, and one person is going to go home. So the way this works, all the girls are going to stand behind a door. They have to text and lock in their answer of who they want to pair up with. If that boy stands on their door, he's going to open the door is going to be unlocked, and they're a pair. If it doesn't match up, he going to try to open your door, and it's going to be locked. So let's get into who everyone chose. So first off, we have Nick. He chooses Sierra, and of course, Sierra chooses him. Those two are locked in. Pepe chooses Hannah, and Hannah chooses Pepe. Those two are locked in. Next up, we get to Austin.
But if her door is locked, it means you're not a match. And Austin, you will be single.
And I was like, Austin, you know what? For your game, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. So Austin chooses Amaya. He lets us know in the confessional that he feels like the two of them have a good connection. He wants to shake things up in here. And Amaya also chooses Austin. He opens that door. They both lock in. Shelly is puzzled. In the confessional, Shelly's like, I am puzzled. When were she and Austin even having a connection? I wish he would have let me know. I'm like, Shelly, if you don't stop, you know you did not choose him, so it don't matter. So Ace chooses Shelly. He says that he likes her because she helped him let his walls down. She challenges his mind. She's gorgeous. I mean, again, Ace always has a speech ready and prepared. What the true test of Ace is how he treats you after you all are paired up. Because the thing is, with Ace, it's not just about being paired up. It's the treatment afterwards. That's what I want to see. But Shelly also chose Ace. So these two, the door swings open, they lock in. And again, I really, really want to see if Ace is going to have his typical switch up with Shelly that he tends to have with girls that he pairs up with. Let's just see. So Jalen chooses Alondria. He goes over. The door's locked. Oh, Lordy. So Jalen unfortunately has to go sit down because the door is locked. Now we get to Taylor. Taylor also chooses Alondria. We get a little scene of Alondria talking about how she was so conflicted. She didn't know what to do. She had to follow her. I'm like, Alondria, if you don't you literally told Taylor that you were going to go home if he went home. We know where you're at. For some reason, you are stuck on this man who ain't stuck on you like that. But the door is open. For Alondria, she says that she feels like she's home again. She feels safe. She feels comfortable. Taylor barely mumbles out, yeah, I'm just happy to be in a couple with her again. And I'm like, girl, can we please bring in somebody that Alondria likes for real? Because this is not it. This ain't it. I ain't put no work in. Ooh. So last off, we get to Jeremiah, and the big question is he choosing Iris or is he choosing Huda? And I was like, Jeremiah, we gonna have to talk if you choose Huda. Because there ain't no way this girl has been calling you all kinds of B, throwing pillow at you, throwing water bottle at you, throwing all kind of things at you. And you're going to be with her. There ain't no way that we have watched 2.5 days of her calling you nothing but B, 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 B. So anyways, he's making his decision. It's real intense. You know, who's he gonna choose? Who's he gonna choose? He's between the two doors because you know the two of them are next to each other. Luckily, Jeremiah walks his butt on over to Iris, and everyone in the villa is in shock. Mouths agape. Everyone's mouths are open. And of course, Iris's door is open as well. And everyone is like, oh! And then we get some delayed clapping when they're like, oh, okay, we see you. So of course that leaves Huda behind the door. Ariana asks, was your door open? Was your door open, Huda?
Why did you unlock your door for Jeremiah?
He told me that she is not his type, he's not attracted to her, and that he does not want to sleep in the bed with her. He told me...
Huda says, you know what? My door was open. It was open. And you know what? I was going to choose Jeremiah. I was going to choose him. This was his opportunity and his chance to show that he loved me and that he cared about me, and he didn't do it. And you know what? By the way, Jeremiah said Iris is not his type. He doesn't like her and he doesn't want to sleep in a bed with her. And I was like, Huda is that type of person where she's going to flip and twist and manipulate everything that you said. Everything that you said. She's going to weaponize it and use it against you. Watch how she used all of that stuff Jeremiah says, took it completely out of context and used it as a weapon. What a ooh. He says that he did not choose Huda because it is toxic. With Iris, it seems very level-headed. This whole time, Iris was thrown into this whole tornado, and she has stayed level-headed, so this relationship seems mature. Huda tries to say that Jeremiah choosing Iris is the safe option. And I'm like, girl, what? The safe option was y'all two sticking together. Anyway... So we find out that one Islander is going to be leaving tonight. And the way this is going to work is they're going to do the thing they did last season where you're going to stand in a line behind the person that you want to keep. Remember last season when Liv had that long ass line and I think it was Daniela that had like two people behind her? Y'all remember that? Anyway, they have to do this. Once again, there is no discussion. Notice how the producers take out all the discussion from this nowadays. So anyways, let's jump into it. It's Huda versus Jalen. Who do you want to keep? So, individual votes, although they're going to be called up as a couple. First up, Nick votes to keep Jalen. Obviously. Sierra votes to keep Huda. And I was like, okay. As soon as I saw Sierra vote to keep Huda, I knew the girls were all going to vote to keep Huda. And I knew Huda was going to stay, most likely. Just keeping it real. Austin votes to keep Huda. Sierra votes to keep Huda. Austin votes to keep Huda. Amaya votes to keep Huda. Shelly votes to keep Huda. Ace votes to keep Huda. Iris votes to keep Huda. Jeremiah votes to keep Jalen, obviously. Now, Olandria votes to keep Huda. Taylor votes to keep Jalen. Pepe votes to keep Jalen. And Hannah votes to keep Huda. Meaning, Jalen gets out.
Jalen, with 4 votes, you have been done.
And you know what? I know people gonna be up in arms and everything. I knew as soon as I saw Sierra vote that no girl was gonna be the odd one out. No girl was gonna choose to be the one that didn't. What I found interesting was Ace. Notice, Ace voted to keep Huda. Ace voted to keep Huda. Ace. Now, when they were walking out, you see Shelly kind of tugged his hand a little bit. It was real quick when I was watching it. But you saw Shelly kind of voted. You could tell Ace was not happy, though. Ace was not happy at all about keeping Huda. You know, to me, I'm going to be real with you. I don't understand how you all sat there all day talking about how you can't stand this. And you gave it another chance. As I said, what did they put in that wine glass that they gave y'all? Because while I am irritated, I'm not surprised. Y'all ain't gonna get her out. Y'all ain't gonna get her out. And I knew y'all weren't gonna get her out. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Peacock, we better not get another episode of us seeing Huda calling him all kind of B all day, every day. We do not want to see that. Huda thanks Iris for keeping her. Iris is sobbing because she said she came in with Jalen and it's really upsetting. But Iris is like, I just believed you all both deserved love. And I'm like, no. Iris, you didn't want to be the odd girl out and get Huda's wrath. It's a hive mind. It's a hive mind. And to be honest, watching essentially what felt like everybody endorsing Huda's behavior, I wasn't feeling that. But anyway, we are at the end of the episode. So if you made it to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all in the next one in a couple of days from now.